Hi, my name is Peyton Lake and welcome to Create Obsession. In this video, I'm going to show you how to turn 2 skeins of chunky yarn into a very lovely and very chunky cat bed that your cat or someone else's cat will adore. So stick around if you want to see the video. To start off, we will want to make a magic circle. So you'll make a knot and then you can turn it around. It just looks like a baby pretzel. And you'll insert the hook into the pretzel, wrap it around the yarn, bring it up, pull up a loop, and that will be your first stitch. And we will want to do 6 of these. Once you have 6, single crochet. To create the circle, you'll just pull it tight, and that's why it's called magic. And then you'll connect the first single crochet to the last one. So insert and pull through 2, and now you have the first round of crochet. You'll just chain stitch up 1. At the start of every single round where we do the chain stitch, we are going to insert you can do a stitch counter, or I'm just using whatever I have, which is a clip, and that will mark the beginning of each round, because instead of turning, I'm going to just keep crocheting in the round. We're going to do 2 single crochets into every single crochet that we have. And then once you get to 12, you will insert it back into where you had your stitch counter. And then we're going to do a slip stitch, so you'll just grab the yarn, pull through 2, and then we'll chain up 1, and again insert our stitch counter into this. Now that we have 12 single crochet, we'll do 2 stitches into the first one, then we'll do 1, 2, 1, and then we'll just keep doing that all the way around. When you're coming around to complete the circle, there's going to be the initial stitch that you marked, and there's one before it that looks like you may want to crochet into it, but you always skip that because that's from the previous row. So you'll insert it to where your stitch counter is, pull that out, slip stitch, single chain up, and I'm marking the stitch. So that was the slip stitch, and that's why we don't crochet into it. You always skip that stitch. Otherwise, you'll keep adding a crochet every single one, so your circle won't be perfectly round. It'll grow out just a little bit right here. So skip that and connect it to where you have marked. Now that we're done with that row, we'll move on to the next row, which we're going to do the same thing again. So we're going to single crochet 2 in the first stitch, single crochet 1 in the next one, and we'll just keep doing that pattern for this row. On this row, we're just going to make a single crochet into every single stitch, and we're not going to increase it by any. now that we're getting down to the end of this row with our 27 stitches that you counted, you will either do, you'll tie the new skein onto this one to continue the same color and the pattern won't change. Or if you're doing two colors like me, this will be the row that you start with the new color. So I'm going to do like I've been doing, insert the hook into wherever my stitch counter is. And remember, we got to skip over that previous stitch. And we're going to do the slip stitch. And then right here, instead of chaining up with the maroon, I'm going to insert my new color. I'm going to pull down on the maroon. And then I'm going to chain up with the new color. So now I have one chain stitch with the color transition, and I'm going to insert the stitch counter with this one. So it's going to be this stitch is the one that we'll skip before we connect to this. And now we're just going to continue with single crochet into each 27 stitches. So we'll insert it into the chain stitch, pull out the chain stitch marker or the clip and connect these up, and then we're gonna chain one. And now we're just going to do that again for another round. So I'm going to insert again and continue crocheting. And then we're going to insert where the stitch counter or the clip is, and we will pull through those and chain up. Now you can stop here if you want, or you can add another row, and I'm going to add another row so I get more volume to this. Insert your stitch counter and start crocheting into the next one. Now that we're done with that row, that is all of the rows that I'm going to do. If you wanted to continue and make it taller, you can. Just keep adding rows. It will keep growing up instead of growing out, as long as you keep the stitches the same number. And then if you want it to cave in a little bit, you can reduce it down. But I like it like this, so I'm going to stop here and go ahead and tie it off. The best way that we're going to tie this off is you will want to first cut it. So we'll say a little further away just in case we mess up. And then you're going to pull through all the way through. And where the stitch counter, your clip, if you're using a clip like me, you'll just insert it into that, pull through, and we're gonna pull that tight. And then we'll insert it back around to where that stitch was, pull the clip out, and that creates what looks to be the top of a stitch. And then we're just going to either tie it or weave it into here. So I'm going to secure it first and then I'll weave it in. Once you are happy with however you weaved it in, you can go ahead and clip it off. Now coming back to the color change, if you had a color change, you will double knot this, and then we can just cut this off and weave these both in to their correct colors. And do the same thing for the beginning magic circle. Thanks again for watching. I hope you learned how to make a cat bed. If you have any questions, please leave a comment below. And if you like this video, you can always give me a thumbs up. If you would like to see more content in the future, you can always subscribe. I plan to be making more videos this year, and I hope to see you in the next video. Thanks again. Bye.